Hi there Butchie, this is Emma from Emma's Bookish Lifestyle, and I'm sorry it's been a while for me to catch up with you. I've had quite a few things going on with work, and also over the long bank holiday weekend I was fortunate enough to go down to Somerset with my partner and my mum and dad to enjoy the weekend, and we went to Bath, and there will be a video coming up shortly with a book haul from there. And also we spent some time down at Cheddar Gorge, which was absolutely fantastic. So to get to the chase, today's video is a very quick one. It's about the books that I finished in May. But before I start that, I just want to show you something that my mother-in-law gave me from the pound shop, and this is something called 151 sticker remover. Now this removes stickers, tape, price tags and gum from hard surfaces. The reason why I want to show you this stuff, which comes with this widget, this kind of Ouija, is book stickers. The biggest bugbear, the biggest gripe of my life, book stickers. Hate them. Hate them on books. Hate them when I can't get them off books. This stuff, miraculous. 151 sticker remover. It is flammable, so this isn't something for youngsters to get anywhere near. It is toxic, so please do keep it away from young children and animals. But it does the job. It does the job it says on the tin. It will take all your stickers off of your books cleanly with no after sign whatsoever. And yeah, can't recommend it highly enough. Cannot recommend it highly enough. Definitely worth getting hold of if you can. And I'd just like to say thank you to my mother-in-law who kindly found that for me and gave that to me. So other thing is, just one quick note for Dave at Wilde Reads. Dave, Vera is coming over to you in the post. I haven't forgotten you, my lovely. Things have just got a bit, and they will be with you shortly. So let's get stuck in to May's wrap up. So the first book I read in May was Chappie, and unfortunately that was a Round the World Book Club book by Patricia Grace, and sadly it was just not for me. I found the writing style to be very hard going, and due to the turns of phrase it just didn't hook me. It was taking way too long to hook me, and I wasn't at all interested in the characters. I know this is something that will be very different for every individual, and I know it was about an Aboriginal relationship with a Japanese person, but I just wasn't feeling it, sadly. So unfortunately I DNF'd that one. The next book that I read was The Accusation by Bandy. This was a buddy read with Matt from MCS Books and Oly Bliss. Really enjoyed doing this buddy read with the two guys and seeing their perspective on this. This is from a North Korean author called Mandy, and he's snuck this over the border to be able to get this published. He's still residing in North Korea, which is quite astounding to me. There seems to be an element of hope in this book, and I have done a separate video on this book, so if you're interested in seeing a full review, please check that out. But I gave this book 4 stars. That's The Accusation by Bandy. Next, I'd like to thank Hoarder and Stoughton for kindly sending me a proof copy of Should You Ask Me, and this is by Marianne Kavanagh. This is a sort of thriller, but it takes you on a meandering ride. It isn't a fast-paced thriller, it's quite an in-depth thriller, and it's predominantly based around 2 characters, a lady called Mary who's 86 and a young police officer called William. And we find out very early on that 2 bodies have been found near their local village, and Mary comes to the police station basically with a story to explain who the 2 bodies are and why they are there. And she very much is an unusual character, quite a quirky character. She's very strong-willed, She's a little bit feisty. She's an independent person, very much so. You can just see, sorry, my cat socks just coming up the background. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. But she very much takes the story at her pace and makes William listen to her story in her time. But also while she's doing that, she's trying to find out William's story and more about William. And so from sort of his meandering thoughts while he's listening to her story, it's drawing him into his own story, and it explains his backstory. Thoroughly recommend it. This is based around the time of World War II, and there's an army base nearby, and just, it was very atmospheric. As I say, very compelling, and quite an interesting sort of unique twist on a thriller. I wouldn't say it's a thriller as in a kind of crime type thriller, fast paced, gonna keep you going. It's a long meandering walk, but it's a walk well worth taking, and 4 stars. And last but not least, in the books anyway, is Ordinary People by Diana Evans. This was another book buddy read for me. I did that with Kerianne from MCS Books and Dave from Wilde Reads, and I have to say again, really thoroughly enjoyed doing this buddy read. As the title implies, it's very much based around ordinary people. The writing of Diana Evans is just exquisite to read. It is a feel of a sort of a hybrid of literary fiction and fiction. So it's poetic, but yet very easy to pick up and very easy to read. And it's based around 2 couples, a married couple and a couple in a long-term relationship. Both sets have children, and what I really liked about it was the unique perspectives from both a male and a female point of view in a relationship. The true factor of this and the true telling in this is the fact that it was about ordinary things that happen in our lives. So the impacts on the decisions that we make, the regrets that we have for going down a certain path, following a particular direction in life, trying to regain our identity after having children, trying to maintain our identity within the symbiotic nature of a relationship. There was one element, however, that Kerianne, Dave and I weren't particularly comfortable with, and that was there is a paranormal kind of storyline threaded through from one of the couples based in their home. And this paranormal thread kind of appears a couple of times through the book, and you just think, yeah, okay, there's a little bit of an impact there. The daughter inherits like this limp, and it seems to go away when they go on holiday, but yet when she comes back, it's come back. And then somehow, kind of almost out of nowhere towards the end of the book, it reappears with a vengeance and becomes this massive event. And it just didn't tie in with the ordinary people and the feel. And I know that the title of the book, Ordinary People, came from obviously the people that it's discussing, but also some songs, and there were some song links here. But the paranormal element really did kill the ending, and I think it really did kill the ending for all 3 of us. So it was a 3-star read for me. I think it was a 3-star read for the other 2 as well. So an interesting book to pick up, and I believe it might have been also her first book. So I'll be interested to see what else Diana Evans reads, but for me, 3 stars. And last but not least, the other book that I read was actually an Audible book, and that was The Hoarder by Jess Kidd. I originally saw it previewed on Dave's channel at Wilde Reads, and thought it looked like something a bit up my street. I like a good family drama, I like a good mystery, or a bit of a story behind it. And so I picked that one up in my Audible credits. And it was narrated by a lovely Irish lady called Aoife. I think that's how you pronounce the name. We've got a lady called Aoife on our book community, and I think that's how you pronounce it. So apologies if I'm not right in that. But her Irish lilt really brought something to this book. It really brought characterisation, and the accents and things she did for her nutty landlady, and the various saints that, again, she had like an unknown paranormal link, really kind of bring a high sense of humour to this story. Basically, the main character is looking after a man called Colm in his house, and it's basically following his story. He's an old guy. He's obviously somewhat of a recluse. He doesn't really deal with people. He hasn't got people in his life. He's also a hoarder. And when we first meet them, he's very much kind of almost rebelling against her being in his house, trying to help him and to care for him. But as the book progresses, their relationship progresses, and that's what I love about it. He's a mad cat man. He's got a house full of cats, and various different cats appear here and there. The story basically leads to the identity of a daughter, and this links in with the main protagonist's events in her childhood, and basically becomes quite witty in that both herself and her landlady then decide to look into the disappearance of a mystery woman. And through that there are many weaves and turns, and I really enjoyed it. It just didn't completely grip me, and I was sadly a little bit disappointed in the ending. It just seemed a little bit predictable towards the end. So again, for me, it was a good audible read, but I gave it 3 stars. So that's all for me on my May wrap-up booktube. I hope you're all well. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.